the hat too much? Yeah, I think it's too much. The Fool is a film that recently came out by Ray Comfort. Now, if you're unfamiliar with who he is, I'm gonna explain it all to you, don't worry. He is a popular evangelist preaching the word of God and is famously known for his use of the banana to make fun of atheists, I guess. It's apparently the atheist's worst nightmare right here. This. Oh, banana time, stop! I am excited to say that I just interviewed him. That will be the next video that I post on my channel here, but I feel like in order to give that any context, I have to explain what this film is to begin with. It's a banana hat, you know.
Well, I've got this earring.
Oh my gosh, there we go. He and I have been going back and forth for about 5 years. So 5 years of me making fun of something he did and then him coming back and insulting me. This has been going on for 5 years. So because of that, I feel the need to put that into context before actually delving into his movie. If you want to call it a movie, The Fool, that I happen to actually be a part of. So 5 years ago, he posted this on YouTube, Evolution versus God movie, where he basically throws evolution under the bus and says, everything is actually only here because God made it so perfectly, isn't it great? And he also goes after Richard Dawkins, who at the time I was a huge fan of, so seeing him do this made me really mad, which prompted me to make my response, Evolution versus God, an atheist review. I had no idea at the time that my response would get as much attention as it did. At this point, I think it's almost at 1 million views, but whenever I made this 5 years ago, I wasn't even really a YouTuber yet. Like, I didn't know what I was doing, but to my surprise, Richard Dawkins actually found my video and shared it, which brought it a lot of attention and actually brought me the chance to meet him in person and do an interview, which was amazing. Ray Comfort, on the other hand, wasn't so thrilled. He put out a lot of tweets like this: "It's great that Jacqueline Glenn is stepping up to the plate for Professor Richard Dawkins again." And then he posted an article saying, when a young lady recently produced a YouTube clip that tried to do what he should be doing by debunking it, Dawkins tweeted that she talks sense. Wait, did you just admit that I debunked it? Then he posted this extremely long rant about me on his Facebook page in which he said, "Of course," she begins by saying that man modified the shape of the banana, which isn't true. So yeah, pay attention to that. He denies right here that man modified the shape of the banana. Completely denies it, which isn't true. Which I find to be very interesting because in 2009 he issued an apology saying, "I didn't know, apparently it has been modified." Then 2013, he says this to me saying, "No, it's not true. It hasn't been modified." But then in 2017 from Banana Man, he says, "It is true, and I knew this all along," which clearly he did not. So me seeing this post in 2013, also knowing that he had just apologized in 2009 saying, "Yes, I acknowledge that I was wrong," you know, it was very frustrating, so I made a response video called Ray Comfort versus Logic, which he then cherry-picked, took clips from, and posted on his YouTube channel Living Waters with the title, "One Frustrated Woman." Ray, along with the American Atheists, I ask that you release these unedited interviews that you so clearly manipulated in your pathetic excuse for a documentary. Okay, so he's trying to say that me asking for him to release these unedited interviews was me basically saying if I had all of the interviews, the full interviews, that would completely prove all of evolution, which is not what I was saying. What had happened is in his film, he would go around and interview different people. Some of them were, you know, unassuming college students, and some of them were scientists, and he would edit them in a way to make everyone look really stupid. I'm sure if people gave intelligent answers, he would cut that. You know, he didn't want to give the full story or show the full picture. So in order to, you know, make a point that he's clearly trying to manipulate his audience, I asked for him to release the full interviews of all of these people just for, you know, purposes of being totally transparent and honest, which I think is a reasonable request. But he tried to frame it and say, "Oh, see, she wants to have these interviews because she thinks we're hiding evidence for evolution." No, I think you're hiding evidence for manipulation. Although you did get one thing right, I was very frustrated, and it's kind of funny because in my older videos, like 5 years ago at the time when all this was happening, I was way more angry in my videos, way more confrontational, and I had like a sarcastic asshole streak, which is kind of nice, and sometimes it was pretty funny.
You should check out his future books too. Gravity versus Santa, physics versus leprechauns, biochemistry versus Gandalf, math versus the Headless Horseman, and of course, geology versus Hello Kitty.
Anyway, so skip to last Christmas. He posts another video called Christmas Gone Viral where he talks about Jesus a bunch and interviews people, and it's basically the same thing all over again. So I decided to react to it while drinking a lot of alcohol, which prompted him to send me a letter and a gift card that I got in one of my fan mail unboxings. I mean, I don't know, it's kind of funny. We'd been bickering for so long that at that point it's like, oh, haha, cool, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm all about having open conversation and being nice with people. Whenever I got that letter, I said in that video, I'm like, hey, Ray, if you ever want to like do an interview sometime or just have a chat, I'd be totally down, which, like I said at the beginning of this video, he took me up on. Can't wait to post it, it's good. And then he comes out with this, The Fool trailer 2018. I actually had no idea that this came out until people started tweeting at me saying, hey, there's a clip of you in this trailer. You should probably watch it. So I did. A true story. Back with the dramatic music. Oh, there I am. That's me. Yay. Is it gonna blow my mind? Is it? Now, one of my favorite things about this trailer that had me laughing really hard at the time were the reviews that he would post throughout this trailer, and they were just worded so poorly. It was hilarious. Wow. Wow. That was so good. Like, what? Wow. Excellent. Excellent reviews, guys. So, you know, me bringing out my inner sarcastic asshole decided to leave a comment on the video saying, wow, you know you've made it when you're in a Ray Comfort film. I don't think he initially knew that was me joking, so he took that quote seriously and put it in his next trailer to brag. It's the thumbnail. What are you doing? You cannot make this shit up. So I wanted to download the film so I could use clips of it in this, so I had to buy it. And apparently if you use the code ATHEIST, you get 75% off, which is interesting because he likes to make the argument that there's no such thing as an atheist. Deep down, y'all really believe.
And I know from scripture and my own experience that you know God exists.
What? You know that I know.
In the same way I know you've got a heart.
But that's okay. You know, he makes a living off of believing in that which does not exist, so it makes sense that something he doesn't think exists would be something that he would use as a discount code. Anyway, so I downloaded it, and behold.
I'd been crossing swords with atheists since the early 1980s in Speaker's Corner back in my home country of New Zealand.
Wow, he has been doing this banana shtick since before I was even born.
It was there that I regularly used a Coke can and a banana to parody atheism.
I would like to point out here, though, he uses the word parody, and he uses the word parody throughout the entire thing, and we're gonna come back to that because I think that's really important. He calls it a parody, he acts like it's all a big joke, but it's not. You can't call something a joke if you really believe it. As funny as he might think it is, at the end of the day, he really does believe that everything is intelligently designed, including bananas. So to call it a parody or to call it a joke would imply that you don't actually believe that things are intelligently designed, or that bananas or any other fruit or any other thing that exists is evidence somehow of God, which he says over and over again for a multitude of different things. So he really does believe that. So you can't call it a joke. I think he's just been ridiculed about this for so long that he's trying to save face by saying, it's just a joke, guys. It's just doing it for the lulz. I don't really think it, even though I do, but it's just a parody.
It's because I'm about to do that same Coke can and banana parody that makes fun of atheism.
All right, I don't buy it. Whatever. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is it a joke? I don't think so.
And I'm not sure if I can get my listeners to crack a smile. This is because atheists don't think of their beliefs as being ridiculous and therefore worthy of ridicule.
Atheists don't, oh God, let's unpack this. Everything is worthy of ridicule. I don't care if you're the most brilliant person in the world saying the most brilliant thing, there's somebody somewhere who's going to ridicule you for it. But you can't call atheism a belief. And he does this throughout the entire film, movie, video, YouTube video. All atheism is someone saying, I have these religious beliefs. Do you? And the atheist is like, nah, I don't. That's it. You don't even necessarily have to believe in evolution to be an atheist. There is no belief system that is required to be an atheist. It's the opposite. And he always does this. He says, oh, well, if you're an atheist, that means you believe everything came from nothing. But it has nothing to do with our origins. It just says that we don't necessarily think that everything happened because of a God. We don't know. It's okay to say you don't know. It's okay to say you don't have the answers. What's not okay is to be like, we don't have the answers, therefore, God of the gaps. You can't do it.
Behold, the atheist's nightmare.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, it was a banana. It's the scariest shit I've ever seen.
The banana and the hand are perfectly made one for the other.
Does he really not think people are gonna make sex jokes here? I will refrain. I will try to refrain. So this is part of the whole banana spiel where he picks up a Coke can and says, oh look, it's got letters on it and it's in an aluminum can and it contains Coca-Cola and it has a little tab at the top that you can pull and open it up to drink your beverage.
And then millions of years later, red paint, white paint, just a little bit of green paint fell from the sky and formed itself in the words Coca-Cola.
Did that just fall out of the sky, pre-made, or did it have a creator? Checkmate, atheists. Someone made that Coca-Cola can in a factory. See? That means everything has to have a creator. Look at this banana. Look at these bananas. It's the atheist's nightmare because it's got all these amazing features and it fits perfectly into your mouth and into your hand. And therefore, it is evidence of a design that is so perfect, it must have a creator. Therefore, God. Like, that's it. I literally just summed up his entire point. So he's gonna compare something that was manufactured by machines to something that occurs in nature. Like, things evolve the way that they do because they are favorable. They survive and reproduce because they are favorable. If something existed that was impossible for animals or bugs or whatever the hell to get to, then the seeds would never be spread and there wouldn't be any favorable genes passed on and it would die off. Natural selection, it's really not that hard of a concept. And I mean, if we're gonna go the route of talking about bananas being a great shape, then Jesus Christ, look at coconuts. Think about pineapples. Think about all these other things that are difficult for people in particular, since apparently everything revolves around humans, difficult for people to get to. Is that not evidence against God? No, it's not. And in my interview with him, he actually said that all of those things are designed by God and that they're all great and they're all evidence for God, because of course they are, except for disease. He did say that. Except for disease. That doesn't count.
Now, if you go to the top of the banana, you'll find the maker, as with the Coca-Cola can makers, has placed a tab at the top for ease of entry.
Ease of entry. Still not gonna do it. I'm gonna resist.
When you pull the tab, the contents don't squirt in your face.
Oh my God! This is so difficult. But I mean, of course it's not gonna squirt in your face. It's a banana. It's not like a liquid. What?
Notice the point at top for ease of entry. Just the right shape for the human mouth.
Oh man, this keeps getting harder and harder.
And the maker has even curved it toward the face to make the whole process so much easier.
There has got to be somebody at some point that told him that this just sounds very dirty. Like, did no one say anything?
That's if you get it the right way around.
Oh, God, all right, skipping ahead. I can't watch it anymore. So then he meets up with Kirk Cameron. If you guys don't remember who Kirk Cameron is, I actually made a video about him. He made a Christmas movie called Saving Christmas that I also reacted to while drinking heavily. Fun times. So he meets up with Kirk Cameron and does this banana bit. Again, on TV.
The atheist's nightmare. Now, if you go to the top of the banana, you'll find, as with the soda can makers, they placed a tab at the top, so God has placed a tab at the top. When you pull the tab, the contents don't squirt in your face.
Look at Kirk Cameron's face. He's like, yeah, bro.
It was a bit flat without a live audience, but it was no big deal. We put it into our program and never gave it a second thought.
Oh, that's not true. they did give it a second thought. I don't know why he's never consistent. During my interview, and this is something you can look forward to later, he actually told me that Kirk Cameron did not like this banana idea and told him not to do it, but he did it anyway. So to sit here and say, we put it in there and never gave it a second thought is definitely not the case. Unless he lied in the interview. He's either lying then or he's lying now. I can't tell.
Things were humming until I was told that the banana parody was all over the internet. I couldn't understand why it would be.
You can't? I mean, it's pretty funny. Also, like, I can't get past the parody thing. It's not a parody. That's what if anything, it's a parody of what Christians think. Because Christians actually believe God created things that are in nature. No atheist believes that a Coke can fell from the sky. Like, that's a terrible analogy. I mean, a parody is supposed to be an exaggeration of something that someone actually believes, but atheists believe nothing at all, much less anything to do with intelligent design. Like, that's specifically not something that an atheist would think. So it's a parody of religious people. I'm failing to get the joke. It's not a joke.
The clip without the Coke can made me look really dumb.
No, the Coke can makes it so much worse. He's actually trying to say right now that if the clips that were going around the internet included both the Coke can and the banana, then he wouldn't have looked silly at all. Then it would have been legit. People have been like, oh yeah, that's a great point. But since the Coke can part was taken out, the whole thing is now skewed and out of context, and people just don't get it. You guys just don't get it. And then he blames Richard Dawkins. He said, oh, well, Richard Dawkins talked about it, and that just gave it all this negative exposure.
The issue exploded when the world's most famous atheist, Professor Richard Dawkins, mockingly did the banana routine during a television interview. A few months later, we released Evolution vs. God on YouTube, and it immediately received hundreds of thousands of views.
Ooh, that means my part's coming up soon. This is the first video that I reacted to.
One reviewer said that when Richard Dawkins saw it, he'd have a cow, and he certainly did. It was so painful, he tweeted about it 5 times.
I mean, yeah, of course he's gonna tweet about it. It's hilarious, first of all, but second of all, don't you think that an evolutionary biologist who's well known for his books on atheism would have something to say about this? I mean, it's literally called Evolution versus God. So we have a Christian evangelist who's trying to disprove evolution with religion, making a video on YouTube that's getting attention. You would think somebody who is the complete opposite would have a thing or two to say about that.
He tweeted, goodness, Jacqueline Glenn talks fast, but she talks sense. Banana Man won't know what's hit him, and he won't like it. End of quote.
I mean, yeah, I talk super fast when you speed it up like that.
Jacqueline Glenn believed that there was scientific evidence for evolution on our cutting room floor.
Ray, along with the American Atheists, I ask that you release these unedited interviews.
No, I didn't. And we've already been over this at the beginning of this video, but I just wanted to have an honest representation of these people that he was interviewing. Didn't think that he had some kind of evidence for evolution, that he was just hiding away.
Neither did we make PZ Myers look like an idiot, as she said. We just let him share what he believed. Do you think you're a primate?
Yes, I am.
Are you a talking primate?
I am.
No, you did not make him look like an idiot, but you certainly tried. We are primates. I know that that sounds like crazy to some people, but to be like, oh, you think we're talking primates? You're an idiot. Like, you are trying to make him look dumb by having him say that, but it's correct. Like, Ray Comfort actually thinks that he has bested PZ Myers, who is an embryologist. Like, this is insane to me. And whenever you present even factual information in a satirical way, like, we're talking apes, if you present that to an audience of people that don't know better, they are gonna laugh. They are gonna be like, this stupid atheist professor guy thinks he knows, blah, blah, blah. Well, I mean, yeah, he does, but they don't get it. They don't get it. So whenever you ask questions like that and try to make him look stupid, unfortunately, a lot of people will believe you, and that is manipulation at its finest. And it blows my mind that he could even think that my intentions in asking him to release those tapes were to prove evolution. I gave examples throughout my video telling people I want him to release the tapes because I think he's clearly manipulating what these people look like. And I gave an example, and still, He's misrepresenting me, I feel like, on purpose in this film.
Like I said in my last video, I could go out and ask a bunch of people a moderately difficult math question. Most of them would probably get it wrong, and I could make them look like fools. I could edit out all the people who actually knew what they were talking about, and if they gave me a decent answer, I could chop it up and make it look like they didn't. But at the end of the day, like I said before, math still works.
Pretty damn good example. You can sit there and ask somebody, like I said, a moderately difficult math question. They might get it wrong. I could compile a video of wrong answers, but at the end of the day, that doesn't disprove math. That doesn't mean that math doesn't work. So you can put together a bunch of clips of people answering questions incorrectly about evolution, but it doesn't prove anything. The sad part about all of that is that the audience that he has watching that will think that it does. So overall, my 3 biggest issues with The Fool was this right here, where he misrepresented me. The part where he continuously refers to atheism as a belief. It is not a belief, it is the lack of belief. You can't mock someone for just choosing to not believe the bullshit you say to them, you know, because you have no evidence. I think that's a pretty good reason to not believe someone. And that in and of itself is not a belief. And the last thing that frustrates me, like I said, is that he keeps referring to this whole shtick that he's been doing for years and years and years as a parody, as a joke.
To parody atheism. Banana parody, banana parody.
Which is it, Ray? I mean, are bananas made by God, do you think? Is this not evidence of God? You say all fruits are evidence of God. Everything you see is a creation, evidence of God. So you either think that this is evidence or you don't. Anywhere I've ever heard you speak about this, and even in our interview I clarified, you do think it's evidence for God. So you can't call it a parody because you actually believe it. So as much as he may try to convince people that he's only joking, haha, I just did it all for the lols, I'm not actually ridiculous in making this comparison. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. But I will say thank you for crediting me and giving me special thanks at the very end. You know, that was very nice. We all already know about the Darwin Awards. I think we should introduce the Banana Awards for when someone makes an argument that is so poor, it just deserves a banana. Top Banana Award, yeah. It looks stupid only because they took out the clip about the Coke can. All right, Banana Award. Atheism is a belief. Banana Award. It's just a joke. I'm making fun of atheists because it's what I believe, but it's funny because atheists are stupid. Banana Award. I look forward to posting the interview with him. It was a very nice conversation. We were polite to each other. We were respectful. It's weird to me because he keeps using those same analogies on everyone, the same questions, the same examples, and I've seen him have really interesting conversations with people that are far better at debate than I am. He's had these conversations before with Lawrence Krauss. He spelled it out for him. He's had a debate on the Atheist Experience that I watched. They spelled it out for him. I find it very hard to believe that at no point did a light bulb go off in his head and him realize that the argument is really bad. I don't know, I just feel like he's really inconsistent with a lot of things that he says. The story changes a lot. And like I said, based off of the conversations that I've seen him have with other people, to see him use those same arguments that have been debunked time and time and time and time again, it's incredibly frustrating to me. And I'm just struggling with determining whether or not he really doesn't get it, or if he does and he just chooses to continue perpetuating the same bullshit arguments because he knows his audience is gonna buy it. So I'm gonna end this video posing a question to you. Do you think he's legit or do you think he's full of shit? Let me know in the comments. Also, just for the hell of it, I think this is funny. These Top Banana Awards, I have like 10 of them. I'm gonna sign them and put them on eBay and write like evidence for God or something on the side. So if you wanna check that out, I'll leave a link in the description. I don't know. Also, shout out to all my $25 and up patrons from last month. You guys are amazing. A lot of new people came in, so thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. And make sure to stay tuned for my next video where I interview Ray Comfort and call him out on all the shit that I was just complaining about. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Power.